Hello everyone, welcome to my study channel Learnify, where learning becomes simplified. So as you all know that I am Ananya, so we have completed the portion of ancient history. I have taught you all the important chapters of ancient history through my 15 or 20-minute videos. So you can basically cover the whole ancient history in about 1 or 2 hours if you see the videos continuously. So the videos are very helpful, so please do see that videos before studying medieval history. Okay, so because ancient history is the base. Okay, so today we are going to start with medieval history. The first important chapter is the Delhi Sultanate. This covers the major dynasties that ruled India from Delhi. So they are known as Delhi Sultanates. So the rulers of these dynasties were Muslims. That is why it is called sultans. Okay, they are called sultans. So the name is Delhi Sultanate. Okay, so this chapter is very important, so please make sure that you people make the improper notes in your notebook, or if you have any kind of book, then mark properly in that book and understand the important concepts that I am teaching you through this video. So these important facts are very useful in clearing any government exam. So please see the video very carefully, and if you like the content, then please do like and share this video, and tell me in the comment box if any queries or doubts you have regarding any concepts. Okay, you can also tell me the any important chapter or any important concept that you want to learn, so that I can make a short video on that. Fine. And please also subscribe to my channel to learn more of the important chapters of journal awareness and journal science. Also I am going to teach you. After completing history, I am going to teach you geography and other things also, like environment, ecology, polity. I am going to teach you basically everything that comes in competitive exams. So please continue with this series and like and share my video. So let's get started. So first of all, about Delhi Sultanate, firstly you should know that Delhi Sultanate consists of a series of dynasties. Mainly there are, the number one is Slave Dynasty, then Khilji, then Tughlaq, then Sayyid Dynasty, and then Lodi Dynasty. So mainly there are five main very important dynasties of medieval history that are included in the chapter on Delhi Sultanate. Now you should know why it is called Delhi Sultanate, because the capital of the rulers of these five dynasties, or the main arena from where these five dynasties ruled, was Delhi. Okay, so they are known as Delhi Sultanate. Sultan means the king of whole, a very large area. Fine. So one by one we will discuss the important rulers and the important facts or resources that we, or the information that we have about these five dynasties. So this chapter is the main foundation of medieval history. This is the most important chapter of medieval history. As I told you before also, that from today's lecture we are going to start medieval history. So this is a very important chapter on medieval history, so please do it very carefully. Make proper notes, or mark in whichever book or notebook you have. You should do the markings properly and make proper notes, so that afterwards it is easy for your revision. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, we will study about the early period and the slave dynasty. So the dynasties of Delhi Sultanate ruled from 1206 to 1526 AD. Okay, means these five dynasties: slave dynasty, slave dynasty, then Khilji dynasty, then Tughlaq, then Sayyid, and then Lodi dynasty. So these five dynasties means the dynasties of Delhi Sultanate ruled from 1206 to 1526 AD. Okay, so about the early period, how it all started. The invasions of Mahmud of Ghazni and Muhammad Ghori introduced a new political chapter in India. So the invasions of Mahmud of Ghazni and Muhammad Ghori. Mahmud of Ghazni targeted North Indian temples, wealth for North Indian temple cities for wealth. तो ये क्या करता था महमूद ऑफ गजनी, ये जो नॉर्थ इंडियन टेम्पल्स थे उनमें जाके ये अपना हमला करता था, एंड देन ही यूज टू कैप्चर ऑल द वेल्थ ऑफ दोज टेम्पल्स, like the donation money, and the North Indian temples in older times, they were made of gold. Their plating was of gold, and you know their towers were made of gold. So he targeted North Indian temple cities for wealth. Muhammad Ghori nominated his slave Kutubuddin Aibak as his representative to govern the newly conquered regions in India. पहले हमने पढ़ा महमूद ऑफ गजनी के बारे में कि वो क्या करता था, उसने क्या किया, नॉर्थ इंडियन टेम्पल से मतलब आता था, उनसे सारी वेल्थ इकट्ठी करके ले गया। वो उसने कुछ खास नहीं किया, उसने बस वेल्थ इकट्ठी करके वो ले गया। लेकिन मोहम्मद घोरी ने क्या किया, उसने हमारी इंडियन टेरिटरीज़ को भी कैप्चर किया। उसने कुछ वॉर किए जिससे उसने हमारी इंडिया की कुछ टेरिटरीज़ को अपनी रूल के अंदर ले लिया। Then what he did? Now he was not satisfied at all after capturing the Indian territories. He wanted to capture more territories outside India also. So he could not stay at one place only. Okay. So what he did? Because he had to do more capturing work. So he nominated his slave, his trusted slave Kutubuddin Aibak, as his representative to govern the newly conquered regions in India. So he, as a substitute, he nominated Kutubuddin Aibak that I am nominating you, as a king to these territories of India. Delhi became the center of Turkish and Afghan powers. That is why it is called Delhi Sultanate. Okay. Now let's study. Now these are the some important rulers of the. So Kutubuddin Aibak, he founded which dynasty? He was the first ruler of the Mamluk dynasty, or popularly known as slave dynasty. Now why this dynasty is known as slave dynasty? Because it was founded by because the founder of this dynasty was a slave. Kutubuddin Aibak, basically he was a slave of Muhammad Ghori. So this dynasty, which was founded by a slave, Kutubuddin Aibak, that is why this dynasty is called slave dynasty. Or Mamluk also means slave only. So Mamluk dynasty or slave dynasty. This question comes many times in many competitive exams. What is the other name of slave dynasty? So you should know it is Mamluk dynasty. Okay. First ruler was Kutubuddin Aibak. He was the founder of Mamluk dynasty and slave of Muhammad Ghori. Second was Aram Shah. Aram Shah was son of Kutubuddin Aibak. He is not an important ruler. Mainly the important rulers are Kutubuddin Aibak, Shamsuddin Iltutmish, then Razia Sultan, then we have this Ghyasuddin Balban, and last we have this Kamur. Okay, so mainly only these rulers are very important. About rest also you can just read from this table once, like I will also read with you. Then after Kutubuddin Aibak, it was Aram Shah. He was the eldest son of. So then it was Shamsuddin Iltutmish. He was the son-in-law of Kutubuddin Aibak. Then was Ruknuddin. He was the son of Iltutmish. Then Razia Sultan. He was daughter of Iltutmish, and obviously granddaughter of Kutubuddin Aibak. Okay. Muizuddin Behram. He was also son of Iltutmish. Muizuddin Behram, son of Iltutmish. Then Alauddin Masood. He was son of Ruknuddin Firuz Shah. Means this person only, son of Ruknuddin. Naziruddin Muhammad. He was Razia's brother who had born in 1229. Means these two were son of Iltutmish only basically. Ghyasuddin Balban. He was the most powerful ruler of slave dynasty. Father-in-law of Naziruddin Mahmud. He was the most powerful ruler of slave dynasty. Very important line. Who was the most powerful ruler of slave dynasty? It was Ghyasuddin Balban. Next, Muizuddin Kekubad. He was the grandson of Ghyasuddin Balban. And the last ruler was Kamur. He was the son of Muizuddin Kekubad. Okay. Now, in some books, Kekubad, this ruler, is identified. The books say that this was the last ruler of slave dynasty, but this is not the fact. Basically, if we scientifically talk, originally really, Kamur was the last ruler, but as you know that he ruled only for 1 year, means even not for one full year. The term was very, very short, like only a few months. So people, generally are the historians, they don't consider him as the last ruler because he was not so prominent. So people consider Kekubad only as the last ruler. So if in any MCQ based exam, in option, both of these are given, then you should mark the answer as Kamur. But if in the options the Kamur is not given, Kakubad is given, then you should mark that as the last ruler of slave dynasty. So you should understand the difference. Okay, कि मतलब अगर ऑप्शंस में कैमूर और कैकुबाद दोनों दिए होंगे तो आप कैकुबाद को आप कैमूर को टिक करोगे, लेकिन अगर खाली कैकुबाद दिया और 3 कोई और ऑप्शन है उनमें कैमूर नहीं है तो आप फिर कैकुबाद को टिक करके आओगे. सो यू शुड रिमेंबर दीज लास्ट टू. ओके, द वर्ड मामलुक इज एन अरेबिक विच मीन्स स्लेव. 3 डायनेस्टीज वर एस्टैब्लिश्ड ड्यूरिंग दिस पीरियड. कुतुबी डायनेस्टी, फर्स्ट इलबारी डायनेस्टी एंड सेकेंड इलबारी डायनेस्टी. मतलब कि मामलुक डायनेस्टी के अंदर एक 3 सब डायनेस्टीज आ जाती है. कुतुबी डायनेस्टी, दिस वॉज एस्टैब्लिश्ड बाय कुतुबुद्दीन ऐबक. Next was first Ilbari dynasty, its founder was Iltutmish, and second Ilbari dynasty, its founder was Ghiyasuddin Balban. Okay, so one by one we will read about the very important facts that have come in the previous year from the important rulers. So I am going to tell you only the most important facts. I will not tell you useless things, because we should learn less but we should learn good content so that we can reproduce it nicely in the exam. We are able to remember it till the exam time. I am going to tell you very crisp and very good information that will be very helpful to you during your revision time also. So Kutubuddin Aibak is popularly known as Lakh Baksh because he was a very generous person. He used to donate lots of money to the people. He was titled Sultan. He made Lahore as his capital. So Kutubuddin Aibak made Lahore as his capital. He started the construction of Qutub Minar after the name of the famous Sufi saint Khwaja Qutubuddin Bakhtiyar. So this is also, very important fact. Most people think that Qutub Minar is named after Qutubuddin Aibak, but it is wrong. He made it after the name of a Sufi saint. His name was Khwaja Qutubuddin Bakhtiyar. Okay, so this is very important fact that Qutub Minar is not named after Qutubuddin Aibak, although he started the construction of Qutub Minar, but it is named after a Sufi saint Khwaja Qutubuddin Bakhtiyar Khilji. Okay, now the Qutubuddin Aibak was only able to construct the first story of Qutub Minar. So basically we can say that he initiated the construction of Qutub Minar, but the rest all the stories were completed by Iltutmish. Okay, second important ruler is Iltutmish. He belonged to Ilbari tribe, so that is why we have discussed the sub dynasty Ilbari dynasty. He was a real consolidator of Turkish rule in India. So if question comes, who was the real founder of Turkish rule in India, or the real founder of slave dynasty? The real founder was Iltutmish. If the question simply comes, who is the founder, then you have to mark Kutubuddin Aibak. But if the question comes, who was the actual founder or real founder, then you have to mark the answer as Iltutmish. Okay. Genghis Khan, the leader of Mongols, started his march towards Central Asia. The diplomatic policy of Iltutmish helped him to save his empire from wrath of Genghis Khan. So this is important, that during the rule of which Sultan of Delhi Sultanate, the Genghis Khan attacked India, the central India. Okay, so it was during the time of Iltutmish, Genghis Khan attacked India, but he was not able to capture anything because of the diplomatic policy of Iltutmish. Iltutmish organized Turkane-Shahalgani, a new class of ruling elite of 40 powerful military officers. Now these Turkane-Shahalgani, this was a class of 40 powerful military officers. Okay, he also suppressed the Rajput revolts, completed the construction of Qutub Minar in Delhi. He completed the construction of Qutub Minar. He introduced the Arabic coinage in India called silver tanka. This is also a very important question that has been asked in exams, that he started the silver tanka. Next, it was Razia Sultan, the most prominent ruler. She was the first and the last lady Muslim ruler of Delhi Sultanate. Okay, so this is very important question. Razia Sultan was the first and last lady Muslim ruler, like Muslim lady who was a ruler. Okay, was the first and the only female ruler of medieval India's Sultanate period. Altunia, governor of Bathinda, he revolted against her. Then what happened? I will tell you the story. You should not read this thing, although the story is not very important. but it is very interesting and it will help you to recall many things during the exam time. That this person who revolted against her, basically she was defeated in that war, and she was imprisoned in the in the prison of Bathinda. Okay, then what happened? His brother Ruknuddin, he started to rule in the Delhi Sultanate. Then what happened? This person Altunia, they both fell in love, Altunia and Razia Sultan. So they got married, and after getting married, they both they started a war against the Razia's brother, who basically seized the throne of Delhi Sultanate from Razia. That once Razia was in jail, he he gave himself the title of a king, and he started basically to rule the kingdom of Delhi Sultanate. So these both, Razia and Altunia, marched to Delhi again, and they revolted against the Razia's brother, and then they got the throne. Now he was considered as de jure ruler, while Naib-e-Mamlakt was the de facto ruler. This Behram Shah, you can just write this line and understand that this Behram Shah, he was the de jure ruler, while Naib-e-Mamlakt was the de facto ruler. De jure ruler means who is only for a name, मतलब कि वो रूलर जो सिर्फ एक थ्रोन पे बैठा हो और एक नाम का ही रूलर हो, मतलब वो अपनी कोई कंट्रोल नहीं चला सकता, अपनी मर्जी से कुछ कर नहीं सकता, बस वो एक नाम का ही रूलर था, ये जो बेहरम शाह था. और जो ये नायब-ए-मामलकत था, डी फैक्टो रूलर का मतलब होता है जो रूलर है तो नहीं नाम के लिए, डी फैक्टो बट इन फैक्ट ही इज़ द रूलर. फैक्टो से आप ये वर्ड याद रखो, इन फैक्ट, ठीक है. पर अगर हम फैक्चुअली देखा जाए तो वो बंदा अपना कंट्रोल चला रहा है, वो सब कुछ कर रहा है, तो एक तरह से क्या होता है कि वो एक तरह से हम देखा जाए तो वो एक रूलर हो जाता है. ठीक है, मतलब कि जो रूलर है वो असली रूलर है, जिसका हक है वो एक नाम का रूलर है, और जो कोई दूसरा इंसान है वो है डी फैक्टो रूलर. ओके, जो सच में अपना कोई काम कर रहा है. नाउ कम्स दिस घियासुद्दीन बालबन. ही स्टूड एज अ चैम्पियन ऑफ टर्किश नोबिलिटी. ही अडॉप्टेड अ policy of blood and iron to crush the rebels. So this is a very important question. Who adopted the policy of blood and iron to crush the rebels? It was Ghiyasuddin Balban. Now there were 5 types of taxes during the rule of Ghiyasuddin Balban. They were ushra, kharaj, khams, jizya and zakat. So you should remember, basically you should not remember, these are not so important, but after seeing the options you should just read it once, so that after seeing the option it just comes to your mind. If by chance some question comes in any, rarely this question comes about taxes, like मतलब कि ये 5 टैक्सेस पे नहीं क्वेश्चन आता, पर जैसे हम आगे कोई रूलर्स पढ़ेंगे, अगर उनका कोई टैक्स हुआ, कोई बेसिक टैक्स लाइक पिलग्रिम टैक्स, दिस जजिया, तो वो आपको याद रखना है, पर ये 5 डायरेक्टली नहीं आपको नेम याद रखते. ओके, so the next important dynasty was, so here we finish off with the slave dynasty. Only these were the important things that you should remember for your exams. So next we come to the Khilji dynasty. So Jalaluddin Khilji was the founder of Khilji dynasty. He followed a policy of tolerance towards the nobility. So for Jalaluddin Khilji, he is not an important ruler. You should only remember that he was the founder, Jalaluddin Khilji. Okay. Next comes Alauddin Khilji. He was the son-in-law of Jalaluddin Khilji. Basically, he killed Jalaluddin Khilji to usurp the throne from him. He was harsh towards nobles. We can see, about this Khilji dynasty very nicely in the movie of Padmavat. Okay, it is about the queen Padmavati, that how she committed Johar in order to so this queen Padmavati, she committed Johar, she burnt herself. Johar is a ceremony in which the queen whose king has died, she burns herself in the fire. Okay, now why she does that? In order to protect her respect or honor, or if she thinks that she has some danger, that the other person, ये मतलब जो दुश्मन है उससे उनको अगर कोई खतरा है, तो तब ऐसे क्वींस करती थी. ओके, सो शी वॉज द वाइफ ऑफ द किंग ऑफ चित्तौर. ओके, सो दिस अलाउद्दीन खिलजी, he was harsh towards the nobles. He was the first Muslim ruler to come to South India. Now rest of the slave dynasty rulers we have learned कि मतलब वो नॉर्थ इंडिया में रूल कर रहे थे, बट ही वॉज द फर्स्ट मुस्लिम रूलर हु केम टू साउथ इंडिया. Malik Muhammad Jaisi Sufi saint wrought Padmavat, where Rajput women performed Johar in order to save from Alauddin. He abolished Ikta system. Okay, this is very important that he abolished Ikta system. And he also, Malik Muhammad Jaisi, this name is very important. Which Sufi saint wrought about Padmavat? Malik Muhammad Jaisi. He abolished Ikta system. Okay. So basically Alauddin Khilji is only important in here in Khilji dynasty. Next comes Tughlaqs. Okay, so the founder of Tughlaq dynasty was Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. Okay, Ghazi Malik, his name is also called Ghazi Malik or Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. He ascended the throne assuming the title Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. So before ascending the throne his name was Ghazi Malik. After ascending the throne he gave himself the title Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. He died in an accident and his son Jona Khan or Ulugh Khan succeeded him under the title Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So before ascending the throne, the name of the son of Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. So the son of Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq was Jona Khan or Ulugh Khan, and after becoming the king he assumed the title Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Okay. So Muhammad bin Tughlaq was the only Delhi Sultan who had received a comprehensive literary, religious and philosophical education. So he was the only Delhi Sultan who was very educated. Basically he was a very learned person, but we call him learned fool due to his failed policies. मतलब कि ऐसी बहुत सारी चीज़ें उसने की थी अपने रूल में जिससे कि हम उसको एक फूल भी कह सकते हैं, क्योंकि उसने बहुत सारी ऐसी चीज़ें की जिससे उसको उसके रूल को खुद ही नुकसान हुआ. So this is very important question in every MCQ based exams, that which king of Delhi Sultanate was called a learned fool? It was Muhammad bin Tughlaq. First was transfer of capital from Delhi to Devagiri, renamed as Daulatabad. So he shifted his capital from Delhi to Devagiri and renamed Devagiri as Daulatabad. Issued copper coins at par with the value of silver Tanka coins. He increased the So this person also increased the land revenue on the farmers of Doab land between Ganga and Yamuna. So मतलब इसने क्या किया कि जो दोआब रीजन है, दोआब is the land between two rivers. Okay, so this area is very fertile because it gets fertile alluvial soil from the rivers on the river banks. So he increased the land revenue. इसने कहा कि मतलब दोआब रीजन में तो इतनी अच्छी फार्मिंग, इतना अच्छा एग्रीकल्चर होता है कि मैं यहाँ का रेवेन्यू बढ़ा देता हूँ. ओके, he launched a scheme by which Takvi coins were given to the farmers to buy seed and extend cultivation, like these Takvi loans. Okay, a separate department for agriculture, Diwan-e-Kohi, was established. Okay, separate department for agriculture, Diwan-e-Kohi. This is important question, that under the rule of which king, Diwan-e-Kohi, a separate department for agriculture was established. It was Muhammad bin Tughlaq. ओके, मतलब कि क्या हुआ था, जो इसने ये पॉलिसीज चलाई थी ना, इनके अगेंस्ट ना लोगों ने रिजेंटमेंट बहुत ज़्यादा दिखाई थी. ओके, सो पीपल प्रोटेस्टेड अगेंस्ट देम. फार्मर्स प्रोटेस्टेड अगेंस्ट द इंक्रीज लैंड रेवेन्यू, एंड व्हेन ही शिफ्टेड दिस कैपिटल फ्रॉम दिल्ली टू देवगिरी, इट वाज a huge amount of people were displaced. कि मतलब लोगों को ले जाना पड़ा, एंड एक्सपेंडिचर वॉज देयर. सो that is why he is called a learned fool. Basically these all things didn't had any very good reason behind them, that why he is doing them. He was doing it just like that. Next comes this important ruler Firoz Tughlaq. Jizya was imposed on non-Muslims. Now what is this jizya tax? It is the religious tax imposed on non-Muslims. This tax says that whichever person who is not a Muslim, he has to give this tax. Now this is a very bad thing. Okay, the first Sultan to impose irrigation tax. Now this Firoz Tughlaq, he basically imposed many taxes. So you should remember it, that Firoz Shah Tughlaq for taxes. Okay, you should remember him for taxes. Actually I don't have that light pen or pencil, so that is why my writing is not clear. I am writing it using my finger only. Please cope up with me and like my videos so that I can earn money and buy a light pen for myself. So please support me if you like my content, and share it with your friends, and also subscribe my channel. If you are actually getting, basically I'm not forcing you, if you are really liking the content or getting benefit from it and understanding from the videos the important chapters of history, then please do like my videos, or you can dislike it also if you don't really like the way I am teaching. But please, give some kind of review in the comments or through your like or dislike, so that I can know that what you people think, and I can try to improve. If there is any mistake or something that you think that I am not doing really well, then please let me know. Okay, so he basically, this Firoz Shah Tughlaq, he imposed many taxes: irrigation tax, jizya tax. He also developed royal factories called karkhanas. The Firozabad near Red Fort in Delhi is now called Firoz Shah Kotla. Okay, a new department called Diwan-e-Khairat was created to take care of orphans. This is very important. This department, Diwan-e-Khairat, was created to take care of orphans. Now Timur's invasion. Okay, Timur invaded during the reign of Muhammad Shah Tughlaq, last ruler of Tughlaq dynasty. This is very important. Who was the last ruler of Tughlaq dynasty? It was Muhammad Shah Tughlaq. Muhammad Shah Tughlaq was the last ruler of Tughlaq dynasty. Timur returned to Central Asia, leaving a nominee named Khizr Khan to rule the Punjab. सो खिज़र खान, इसने भी लाइक वैसे ही किया जैसे मोहम्मद घोरी ने पहले कुतुबुद्दीन ऐबक के टाइम पे किया था. इसने भी लाइक पहले सब कुछ एक्वायर कर लिया, बाद में उसने सोचा कि हम इनका, क्योंकि ओरिजिनल इनका देश तो वो था सेंट्रल एशिया जहाँ से ये रूल करते थे, तो इसने भी अपना एक नॉमिनी उन्होंने छोड़ के चला गया इंडिया में, तिमूर. ओके, टू रूल टू पंजाब. नाउ दिस सैयद डायनेस्टी इज़ नॉट सो इम्पॉर्टेंट because rarely any question comes from here, so I'm not going to teach you that. Although if you want to really learn it, or you want some kind of information, then you can tell me in comment box. I can make a separate short video of nearly about one or 2 minutes on some things, if you really want to study this. But this is not at all important, so you can just cross it like this. So you should only remember that this Timur returned to Central Asia, leaving a nominee, Khizr Khan. So this Khizr Khan was the person who was the main founder, you can say, of Sayyid dynasty. Okay, now the important one is Lodi dynasty. Okay, Bahlol Lodi was one of the Afghan Sardars who established himself in Punjab after the invasion of Timur. He established the लोडी डायनेस्टी आफ्टर, मतलब तिमूर की इन्वेजन के बाद इन्होंने अपने आप को इस्टाब्लिश किया पंजाब में. ओके, सो ही वॉज द फाउंडर ऑफ लोडी डायनेस्टी, बहलोल लोडी. सेकेंड इज सिकंदर लोडी. ही इज कंसिडर्ड एज द ग्रेटेस्ट रूलर ऑफ लोडी डायनेस्टी. सो हु वॉज द ग्रेटेस्ट रूलर ऑफ लोडी डायनेस्टी? इट वॉज सिकंदर लोडी. सिकंदर लोडी कंस्ट्रक्टेड द सिटी ऑफ आगरा and shifted the capital from Delhi to Agra. So this is very important, that who constructed the city of Agra? It was Sikandar Lodi, and he also shifted the capital from Delhi to Agra. He is responsible for construction of many Hindu temples and imposed a restriction on Hindus. He was responsible for the destruction of many Hindu temples, and he imposed restrictions on Hindus. Basically, this person Sikandar Lodi, he was a fanatic. Now who is a fanatic? A fanatic is a person, मतलब fanatic हम कहते हैं, हिंदी में हम कहते हैं कट्टर. ओके, कट्टर हिंदू या कट्टर सिख means the person who is very much possessive about his own religion and does not respect the other religions. Okay, so this person Sikandar Lodi, he insulted the Hindu religion, okay, by destructing the Hindu temples and imposing restrictions on Hindus. Okay, next was Ibrahim Lodi. Succeeded Sikandar Lodi. He faced challenges as an administrator and had conflicts with nobles and governors. This person Alam Khan Lodi and Daulat Khan Lodi, they were close relatives of Ibrahim Lodi. They invited Babur to invade India. So ये जो दो लोग थे, Alam Khan Lodi and Daulat Khan Lodi, basically some relatives are not good, they envy you, they are jealous of you because of your progress or success. So they were, very bad relatives, and they invited Babur to invade India. Okay, क्योंकि मतलब बेसिकली दिल्ली सल्तनत के बाद मुग़ल डायनेस्टी आई थी, तो बाबर ने इन्वेड किया इंडिया में, तभी वो इस्टेब्लिश कर पाया मुग़ल डायनेस्टी। तो इन दोनों ने इनवाइट किया था बाबर को टू इन्वेड इंडिया। राणा सांगा, द रूलर ऑफ मेवाड़, ऑल्सो इन्वाइटेड बाबर टू इन्वेड इंडिया. So three people, who were the three people during the reign of this Ibrahim Lodi, who invited Babur to invade India? It was Alam Khan Lodi, Daulat Khan Lodi, and third was Rana Sanga of Mewar. Okay. In 1526 AD, Babur defeated and killed Ibrahim Lodi in the first battle of Panipat, leading to the decline of Lodi dynasty and the decline of Delhi Sultanate. Okay. So the last dynasty also declined. Then came the Mughal dynasty, whose founder was this person, Babur. Okay. The victory at Battle of Panipat marked the beginning of Mughal rule in India under Babur. Okay. So I hope that you like the lecture and the way I am teaching you. So if you really find this content useful, I hope that you really find it useful, because I am teaching you only the useful things that really come in exam, and I am not telling you, just the comprehensive theory and long stories that are very useless. So please like and share my video, or you can dislike it also if you don't really like the way I'm teaching. But please, at least give me some kind of good or bad comments, so that I know that what you people think. Okay, क्योंकि मुझे ऐसे पता चलेगा कि मुझे क्या इम्प्रूव करने की ज़रूरत है, या अगर आपको कोई और इम्पोर्टेंट चैप्टर पढ़ना है मुझसे किसी भी और सब्जेक्ट का, मे बी इट इज़ साइंस, जोग्राफ़ी, स्टैटिक जीके, करंट अफेयर्स, इंग्लिश, मैथ्स, रीजनिंग, मतलब कोई भी ऐसा सब्जेक्ट जो कि हमारे गवर्नमेंट एग्ज़ाम कंपटीशन के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है, आप वो भी मुझे कमेंट में बता सकते हैं. मैं उनके लिए भी एक नई प्लेलिस्ट स्टार्ट करूँगी ज़रूर. ओके, अगर ज़्यादा कमेंट्स आएंगे तो आई विल स्टार्ट अ न्यू सीरीज़ ऑफ डिफरेंट सब्जेक्ट्स ऑल्सो, और यू कैन गिव मी डिफरेंट आइडियाज़ ऑल्सो इफ़ यू पीपल हैव about which chapter you want to cover first, or which chapter you think that is very important that I should cover with you first. So please do let me know through your comments. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you so much.